Kill the coverage and then watch how quickly they forget the same issues people said that we cannot neglect. Are we recording? Yes, we are. All right. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to report that I am still here. Despite the quote-unquote Canadian fog, despite it being hot and humid and me having to record with a guest for about an hour before this, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm still here, folks, and this is another episode of the Sexual Intellectual Podcast. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. All right, and we're gonna have a special guest with us here today, and maybe even next week, depending on how this goes. I got to figure out some things with the footage. But we did have a guest to kind of bring in an outside perspective. A lot of times you guys only hear from me, and I wanted to bring in an outside perspective because, you know, I do all these different podcasts and I want to show love to other creators. And sometimes I think it's cool to bring in a guest and give some outside perspective. You know, maybe I just don't want to hear me all the time. And so, you know, if you do just want to hear me and not guest, let me know, because I actually have some other guests in mind. And so I have some other guests who might be coming up here to speak about some things. If you are not interested, put it in the comments and maybe I'll listen, maybe I won't. Who knows? It depends how things go. All right. And so we have a special guest today here to do things a little bit different. Instead of talking about a purely erotic topic, we're here with a friend of mine, and he's going to talk with us about an article I found and a topic we're going to dive into. And so let him know who you are, friend.
I am Matthew Williams of the Gnarly Munchies, independent skater. Gnarly Munchies is a podcast I host. You can find me around town. I also do DoorDash. I will soon be a baker. Make sure you go check out Travel as a Friend of Story 57. Alice, find me in these streets. I'm always in these streets, and yeah.
All right, there you go. So we have with us Matthew, the host of the Gnarly Munchies podcast. And we're going to talk a little bit about relationships today. And so let me just share my screen and spark this topic.
A record number of 40-year-olds in the U.S. have never been married.
That's right. And so a new study has come out. A new study has come out, and they're saying that it is up from 20% to 25% in just a short time period. And so I'll just read here a little bit. It says here, the Pew Research Center analyzed Census Bureau data. Come on, ads, messing up my reading flow here. The Pew Research Center analyzed Census Bureau data from 2021 and found 25% of 40-year-olds that year had never been married, a sharp increase from 2010 when it was 20%. And so that's the gist of it. I just wanted to put that on the screen real quick. We don't need to really read the whole article.
But, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to read that article later because that shit is hilarious. Like, people are finally waking up and realizing that marriage is fucking useless. In my opinion.
Okay. And so now let's get it started. Why is marriage useless? Let's have fun now.
Because the institution of marriage is set by the state. Marriage is not always about, it wasn't always about this whole, like, commitment thing. It was about safety and protection. You wanted the strongest, biggest person in the village, and therefore your family would give away dowry. The wife's family would give away dowry to ensure her protection for the future, because without that, without a strong man, she's food. Now it's become a culture of sell. And as a person that does marketing a little bit, and that's like my evil side. I think I look at my marketing side as like the devil me. It's the fucking worst thing that you could possibly be. You got to sell to people. So what's better than way than create a greed, create a necessity for selling a big ass party, this fancy ass diamond ring, and this nice ass beautiful dress that you're only going to wear once.
Right.
Marriage overall is about commitment. It's all about, well, if you want to be married, you don't have to be married. You can be committed to one partner or multiple partners of your preferences.
That's true. So let me ask, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You don't think that there are any benefits to the legally binding marriage?
Fuck yeah. When you talk about legally binding, man, it's tax incentives, bro. You get money back for being married. You can You got insurance and shit like that. Like, you don't have to go through the hassles of like the death benefits of not being married to somebody. And you got a greedy ass fucking sibling or kinfolk.
Right.
Like, there's people out here that, like, you gotta look at humanity as a whole. Like, some of us may be good, but the majority of us suck ass.
That's a good point. Well, that's why I ask, right? Because I think that marriage, and this is actually not what the article says, but we'll get back to the article in a second. But I think that marriage is an interesting thing today. I think today many people are married for the wrong reasons, and I think
Yes.
that their argument is often when you challenge marriage, and many times people will say, well, because what happens if I die? And that seems to be like the only argument people can really present today. And I always find that so interesting because you didn't marry the person because you want something to be okay and your will to be respected. You married this person for tons of other reasons. And so I think
Yes.
it's interesting that has become the default argument today, and the alternatives to setting up a will and the way you want your legal representation and your legacy to be fulfilled when you pass are not even up for discussion. They're not even a thought. It's just like,
Well,
well, I gotta marry Will,
sorry.
or someone else will get my couch. It's like, well, you can do other things to make sure someone else gets your couch, or make sure Will gets your couch. So I just think that's interesting because when you challenge the institution of marriage and the fact that you're signing a government contract and that there will be points if and when things go south, that the
Right.
government will intervene and will tell each of you what can and cannot happen. And I think that it's interesting that people don't consider that. And when you do ask
Right.
those questions, their answer is, yeah, but what if I die? What happens when I die? Who's going to get this couch? Who's gonna get that?
Well,
Who's gonna get this pillow I'm sitting on? It's like, yeah, that's so interesting because I'm sure that's not why you married Matthew. Like,
from for my law crazy people, like, wills can be contested and challenged. That's the problem.
well,
Like, that's
mm-hmm.
the thing. That's the thing about, like, marriage. When you get married, that can't be contested. When
Right,
you die, your will can be contested. It can
right,
always be challenged by the court of law, depending on the
yes,
situation. Now,
yeah, no.
but like
Most
most,
times, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you're good, dude. I'm kind of finished that thought. It's really simple thought when it comes to the legalities of marriage.
As
Because
far as what you're saying about the legalities of marriage, yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is, people seem to only refer to the legalities of marriage when you challenge the institution of marriage. So if I said you don't need to marry the person you're in love with, who cares? Like, you don't need to marry that person. You can be with them forever and just not worry about marriage. A lot of times,
right,
the challenge, when you challenge in that way, that's when people refer to the legalities. But they don't say how much they love this person or what they went through or what keeps them together. It's like, but what happens if I die? What happens when I die? And it's like, oh, that's the only challenge. That's all you got. That's interesting. But
because they look more at the material things and don't actually look at the value of the person that they have. I don't think people really value the person that they're with anymore. They value the things that the person gives them.
I think that that's an interesting statement. I don't know if I agree or disagree, but I definitely receive that.
It's
I
a
definitely receive that.
it's my personal experience I'll tell a little anecdote from the other day. I'm out at this store. I do Uber. This is like my day job. It's how I make my bread. I'm not doing the podcast. So I'm out here. I'm getting my money, and I walk into the shop, and this girl is looking and staring at me. I catch her staring, and she flashes me the smile. Her boyfriend's turned the other way, looking the opposite directions, while she's looking towards me, smiling her fucking ass off. He has no idea what's going on. They're still holding a conversation. This is the wild part. Now, if he wasn't there, that would have went way further.
Oh yeah, game on.
Yeah, that. Like, she doesn't value the person that she's with.
But they say you never know what you got till it's gone.
Well, no, she doesn't give. No, I don't think it's, you don't even know what you got, what it's going. Because nowadays people know what they got. They just don't care because they think there's something else like it out there or better.
Okay. So you think people are settling?
Not settling, but like chasing fantasy,
Hmm.
chasing more of a fairy tale. I feel like most people who chase fairy tales when it comes to marriage, well, I'm about to fuck up the word marriage. Um, they really do chase this Disney princess bullshit or prince bullshit where she's gonna do everything, she's gonna be my everything, or he's gonna be my everything, and he's gonna do my everything, and I don't have to worry about shit. No, that's not marriage. From what I've seen, my perspective and my friends that I pretty much hold my standard of marriage. There is no way in hell that you're gonna get a fairy tale out of this shit.
So, what do you get out of marriage? What can one
Mm,
realistically expect from marriage?
you get a partnership. You get somebody who's willing to put up with your personal shit and willing to help you build a better life and to build a better future for the time that you're on this planet, because it's finite. It's not You're not here forever. Now you
Right.
have somebody that you could ride this planet with and fuck.
Hopefully.
Well, if you're not having sex in a marriage, then I suggest you leave that marriage. That's not a marriage. That's a
There are
friendship.
plenty of loveless and sexless marriages.
Well, if there's loveless and sexless marriage, I feel bad for those human beings. They are missing out on something
Me
great.
too. And ladies, feel free to call me. I'm not married, and we'd be happy to help. You know what I'm saying?
Don't call me. I'm mean. I'm mean as fuck.
Feel free to feel free. My DMs are open, ladies.
You can. I'm
You can
honest
even
with
keep
you.
the ring on. I'm fine with that.
I am honest with you. If you are delusional as fuck, I will tell you you're delusional as fuck because I'm honest with myself.
Oh, as you
I
should
do
be.
not. I do not have it all together. I'm a 36 independent skateboarder trying to build a fucking magazine.
Holla.
Mm, holla at me though. I got. I got a lot of shit going on, son. Like when they talk about high value shit, I'm like and all this other shit. Like I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in none of that red pill
So
bullshit. I
I'm
don't
about to
believe in
say,
none
so
of
you don't
that
support the red
bullshit.
pills?
I don't support. I don't support. I don't support nothing. I don't support nothing besides being yourself. But you got to play into your standards too.
Right.
Like, don't be delusional, bro. If you're a broke ass, understand that you broke. If you ugly, bro, understand you. All right, I'm not that attractive, so I could work on my body. It'll up me. It'll put me up. Like, there's different type of stocks, but there's no high value, low value. It's a personality, bro. It's who you are as a person as a whole. Like, girls don't look for fucking looks most of the time. I see dudes with some ugly ass dudes, some beautiful ass women.
And why you think that is?
His personality is on point. That motherfucker funny. I hung out because you hang out with them and you get to know him. You be like, oh, this motherfucker funny. I see why she getting this nigga. He fucking her good and he funny as shit. You must got a big dick. Add that onto it too. I like you like there's shit in this world that like fucking trips you out when you talk to women and men. Like I love the dynamics of my life where because I get the perspective of seeing both sides. Like I got female friends and I got male friends, and both sides is fucking nuts, bro. That's it. Like we're both fucking crazy. It's just finding your crazy. It's finding your balance of crazy.
And so let me ask, do you think that it is more that people are finding someone as crazy as them, or do you think it's that they're meeting someone with the same expectations as them?
It's hard to say. I don't know what people are doing nowadays. It seems like sex is easy to get, and fucking relationships is the hardest thing in the world.
Oh, see, I disagree. People be together after like a week.
And they break up after 2 days.
That's true,
They
but
break up after a week
that
too,
wasn't the
man.
premise though. The premise was
Like
that
I'll
you're in
be
a relationship. Making a
in a
relationship last
relationship.
is a whole different thing.
Yeah, but getting in a relationship, I don't know. I don't know what we doing right now. It's kind of weird. I can't even tell you what we doing right now because it's kind of weird because I'm a different person. What I'm trying to do is what I'm trying to do. What other people trying to do is fucking crazy. I'm like, it's just the multiple partners thing is driving me mad.
Ah, why is that?
Why is multiple partners driving me mad? It's like, yo, it's too many diseases floating out here, man.
But if
Get
you're
shit.
getting tested,
What is that fucking like getting to? Is still shit's uncurable. You get tested and you come up with shit. You still out here
no,
fucking.
no, I mean tested before you hook up with the person.
How often does that happen?
For me, every time. I don't sleep with anyone who's not tested.
Oh no, I get tested, but most times it's like you're having sex with a stranger, in a
No,
sense.
I'm not having sex with a
Oh,
stranger.
I'm just saying you're still getting like I don't know. You're still person's still a stranger to me. Like I don't. It takes me a while to say I really know somebody. You know what I'm
Right, but
saying?
that's what I'm
How?
saying. But if we're just talking about intercourse, right?
Oh,
If
just
if
fucking.
Well,
It's
I'm asking
condoms.
you. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about simply intercourse? Or are we talking about you
But
said
like for
multiple
most,
partners,
like
so
on
that's what I'm
average,
asking.
yeah, most people aren't checking the fucking statistics, like going up there and saying, "Yo, let's go get tested before we fuck."
That's a
Most people aren't
problem.
doing that.
But that's a problem.
It is a kind of a problem.
No, not kind of.
It
It is a
is kind
problem.
of a problem.
No,
It's
no,
a
scratch
problem,
out
but
kind of. It is a problem.
I don't
Getting
know,
tested
man.
is vital. I mean, what don't you know? Let's have a real conversation.
Because it's like there's things that happen in life that's in the moment.
Okay, and there's a pause button and there's self-control. None of us are 12 years old anymore.
I understand that, but like
When you're
there's
12 and your
heat of
dick just
passion.
started standing up and you can't control it and you're pre-coming because the girl took her top off, that's acceptable. But at
I don't
36,
know.
which we both
That didn't
are,
happen to me.
I'm just freestyling. I'm not saying that
Go
actually
ahead.
happened. But my point
No,
is,
well,
when
man.
you're young and you just start getting around women or young ladies at that time, whatever age, I'm freestyling with puberty stuff. But my
You
point is, when you're
goofy.
young and you're just learning these things and learning your own body, sure, you have no control and you take many unnecessary risks. But at 36, which we both are, I don't think at 36 there's no reason you can't slow things down, press pause, and say, you know what? Let's go get tested and then come back next week.
Not be like, let me date you for a little bit longer. That's usually my excuse.
I mean, that's fine, but you could date me for two
Let
years and
me.
not know if I got something or not.
Well, shit. If I date you for 2 years, eventually I'm gonna know something. 2 years is a long time to
There's
get to know somebody.
well, we're talking about sexually transmitted
Well,
diseases.
about that,
There's
about that time, I would have this discussion within 2 years, within a few weeks. I would have that discussion with them, like what your past was, what your history, what shit is, like, and I would hope they would be honest. But most people don't go out and go get tested. Tested. They trust a person's word.
oh fuck that, not me,
I feel you, bro. I
not me.
understand that sentiment. I understand that sentiment.
Not me.
Like I'm not like that's also the fact why I'm like I don't like I have opportunities to fuck multiple like oh god just a shit crazy life. But anyway, I have more opportunities to go do certain things, and I choose not to because of the risks versus the reward. And trust
Okay.
me, I keep condoms and shit with me because I know I've had those occurrences where I'm out and girls just fucking just I don't know what the fuck I do or what I say. It's a good time.
Right. I mean, hookup culture is a thing, and I don't even think there's anything wrong with hookup culture. I just think that we have to
We should be
move
more
smart.
responsible. Be more
Yeah,
responsible in a sense, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. No, not in a sense.
But
Absolutely be more responsible.
nah, it's just so impossible to do. It's
It's not. It's
impossible. It's
definitely not
impossible.
impossible. I've been doing it for years.
I don't know. For some people, it might be impossible.
No, that's not. There's no. That's not. That's mentality. That's not impossible.
How is it? But that
That's
isn't
lack
it?
of discipline. That's not
Isn't it?
impossible.
Isn't it ruining the moment? Isn't it kind of like ruining the moment of
Okay,
life, like that?
now
In
let me give
a
you the other side of the
philosophical
coin.
sense.
Sure. Let's say you're right. So now
Yes, you take
instead
a
of
chance.
ruining the moment, I have sex with someone, we have a blast, and 3 to 6 months later I have a venereal disease.
But then now that's also your focus. There's ways to prevent that too with
Do
condoms.
you use a condom when you're getting head?
Sometimes I do. It depends what girl it is. First time, yeah. If it's a chick I don't know, definitely means fuck yeah, I'm using a
Do you
condom.
use a dental dam when you eat her pussy?
I don't eat pussy on girls I don't know. That's definitely a no-no.
Okay, but let's say you know her, but she hasn't gotten
Yeah,
tested.
if I know her, I'm not really concerned. It's kind of difficult when it's like I know the person because I know who fucking with. But if it's a stranger, yeah, I'm
That's
using
what I'm
all
saying. Do you
precautions.
know them if they're not getting
But what I
tested?
mean, Bro, most people that I fuck with are getting tested. So it was like,
Oh,
if I know
but
them, they're getting
you just
tested.
said they were not.
No, it's hold on, what the fuck? I'm not. Oh, they were not. I'm confused right now. Hold on,
You
go back.
said we were talking about stopping
We're
things
talking a
in the
lot
heat. We did. So let's just take a
in the
step
heat of the
back.
moment.
In the heat of the
No, I
moment,
don't.
taking a step back.
But for, as me as an individual, versus the majority of the people, though, we're talking me as an individual. In the moment, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do certain things that I should think about. But I also use condoms, protections, and be smart about shit. Like I know who I'm fucking.
Oh, looked like we might have lost him. All right, so after some technical difficulties, we're back with Matthew, and we were having a heated discussion here about
Yeah, I got confused.
intercourse and partners and testing. So we'll
Hard.
wrap that up, and then
Yeah,
we'll
do
head
that
back to
shit,
the
bro. Like,
actual
what's that
article.
hard? So I'm proud of you, dude. That shit's incredible. That shit is incredible to do. It's very admirable. Like,
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been that way for years. I don't. I feel like we have one life, right? And so to risk dying, and I'm being extreme on purpose, right? But to risk dying simply for a piece of pussy is crazy. That's the way I mean, that's the simplest summary I could give you.
that's why you don't
Like
fuck strangers.
for risking your life for a piece of kitty is crazy.
Yeah, that's why you don't fuck strangers. You don't fuck strangers.
Or you don't fuck people who don't get tested, because anyone can say anything and it doesn't mean it's true.
Mm-hmm. Trust.
Because there are things that can be hidden. There are things that do not give symptoms to everyone. And so, and also remember, there's a period where things are not popping up, right? Like,
but
there's a time period.
There's also a trust thing too, because person can say they're getting tested and not get tested too.
Oh no, you got to show me paperwork.
Woo, deep.
Yeah, no paperwork, no play. That's how it goes around here.
Deep.
Because it's safety first. You know what I'm saying?
Deep.
It's safety first.
Yeah. I agree with getting tested though.
Oh, I mean, we should all be. I say that on this podcast all the time. We should all be getting tested every 3 to 6 months.
Most STDs usually come and show signs of symptoms. There's some symptoms. You know, like the body reacts to it.
But every STD does not give symptoms.
Which STD doesn't?
Let's go to the videotape, as they used to say when we were younger.
Yeah, I want to know which STD doesn't give symptoms at all. Because most of them give some signs and symptoms. They may not be recognizable. Some may pass them off as common colds. But they all give symptoms.
Okay, here we go. Genital herpes is a highly contagious STI caused by a type of the herpes simplex virus at HSV that enters our body through small breaks in our skin or mucal membranes. Most people with HSV never know they have it because they have no signs or symptoms, or the signs and symptoms are so mild that they get unnoticed.
Herpes.
That they go unnoticed.
So everybody walking around here with herpes.
Well, there's a lot of people who feel yes. If we're being honest, yes, most people have herpes. That's a whole nother conversation.
That's cold sores though, because there's also different types of herpes. There's type A, B, and C.
That is also correct.
What you don't want is type. I think it's type C. I'm not a doctor. I don't remember this shit off the top of my head, but I believe it's type C.
No, it's all good. Here's another thing that popped up on Google. What are silent STDs? It says you might think that if you had a sexually transmitted infection, you would know. But the fact is that some STIs are usually asymptomatic in women. 2 of these silent STIs can be chlamydia and gonorrhea. Depending on your age and risk factors, your gynecologist may screen you for both of these STIs at your annual checkup.
Yeah.
Here's another article that says 7 STDs that don't show any symptoms. Yeah. Now we having fun.
Shit, go get tested.
You see?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. Go get tested.
You see?
I'm Gucci. I'm very particular. I'm just like, ew. Some of y'all out here with herpes.
It says, I'm just gonna read the list,
Matter
not
of
all the
fact, let me never
details.
go with the go get tested. If you're not going to get, please wear protection. Do the fucking right thing.
Yeah, but protection doesn't protect you from every STD, and that's the common misconception.
No, it doesn't. But like, please wear protection. Just be fuck. Don't be an asshole. Like,
right. And so here's the list. We got chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV.
That one is a fucking hardship. Because if you don't get tested, eventually you'll start showing signs. But it could take years.
But eventually, how many people you got sick before eventually?
Oh, fuck no.
Genital herpes.
But if you're still out here doing it like that, yeah. If you have an unprotected fucking sex and you don't get tested, you're a dumbass.
But that's happening though.
Yeah, it is.
And and then okay, I'll pause the list for a second. But then you have to remember, what is the definition of sex? Because getting head is sex.
You're less likely.
Giving head is sex.
The thing is, people are making this thought like you're less likely to catch a STI from having sex. That's what people are
still can happen. Regardless how likely or unlikely, it still can happen.
It can happen, but I don't think most people.
Plenty of us brush our teeth and cut our mouth and don't know all the time because they're tiny cuts and you're not bleeding a bunch.
Yeah, I don't think.
And so now with that cut in your mouth, you go perform oral on somebody.
I don't think
and now
really care.
And this is the conversation.
I mean, just to be completely honest, I don't think people really give a shit about that part.
And that is the conversation.
I mean, really, it was like marriage and shit, but like STIs and shit like that. I mean, it happens, bro. Like people are out here dirty. It's
absolutely
humans. It's humans,
and that's why we must protect ourselves by screening our clients.
You're not gonna be able to do that all the time.
Yes, the fuck you can.
I don't know, not in my life, but I believe not everybody's gonna be able to do that all the time. Some people
because you choose not to.
Some people actually really enjoy that moment in the presence of being alive, versus that cutting it off and be like, all right, this is the moment, because then you might actually get to know the person.
Okay, let me offer an alternative, because I understand what you're saying. Yes, it is challenging in the heat of the moment to completely stop everything and say, let's resume in 1 week after we've gotten tested and received our results.
That's if you really like the person. That's if you like the person.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So I hear what you're saying. Allow me to offer an alternative. Don't let it get to that moment without getting tested.
How about getting to know the person and then go get tested? How about actually having a relationship with somebody instead of just going fuck?
And that's fine. My point is, even if you want to fuck, and you don't just let it get to that heat of the moment. Before things get spicy, before things get hot and heavy, have this conversation.
Keep your test in your pocket then, if that's the case. You don't have to go get tested.
I keep mine on my phone. On the patient portal, I can scroll and put it on the screen right now.
You can have it on your phone. Yeah, if you can have it on your phone. If you want to do all that, yeah. If you want to do that, yeah. You can really, like, people, you know what you're saying right now is going to put other people on to doing that shit.
Oh, that's what I hope. Yes, but I always want that.
I don't think a lot of people are going to do that shit.
Well, then a lot of people won't be fucking me.
You. That's it. You be alright. But like other people are, like, I'm not talking because I'm not looking at it as an introspective as what I'm doing personally. I'm looking at society as a whole. People ain't gonna do that shit.
Well, that's why our community is sicker and sicker, and STDs continue to run rampant through our community.
To be honest, bro. As a whole, a community, there's weak and there's strong. It's like people are gonna do what they're gonna do, and then there's gonna be people that are gonna do what they want to do. I can't worry. Like, you can't sit here and worry about other people's shit when you have your own shit to focus on. So,
but the point of one of the things about this podcast is to inform.
Yeah. I'm expressing my opinion, so maybe somebody might take something from me and gather it, and I could use that for myself. But I'm also, like, at the same time saying, like, you may get something from this, but honestly, your decisions and your actions and what you do afterwards is on you and you alone. You got to hold your own self accountable. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
just like when you're saying you want to go
Absolutely.
get tested, you want to go do this, you want to go do that, you got to go take that. You got to be accountable. Like, as an individual
Yes.
sense, people live different lives, and you can't expect everybody to do the same shit as you do or put something in perspective as that. They're just gonna be
Oh no, I don't expect it from anyone, but it is part of what I require.
right.
And my thing is, I think that as a society, especially the Black community, I think we would be doing ourselves a service if all of us were getting tested regularly every 3 to 6 months. Let me ask you a question. When you're getting to know someone, at what point does sexual health come up?
Beginning.
Because you said a few minutes ago, how
Straight
about
up.
get to know
Beginning.
someone before you fuck them, right?
Straight up, beginning. I ask you, well, like, what's your partner's like? What's your life like? What do you do? Like, ask these questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's things people tell you. Well, I'm versed in conversation, so it's not hard for me to have a conversation with somebody. I can sit here and talk to glue in my face and get everything out of what I need to know out of a person. But for
so
some
off
people,
rip, you're asking about sexual health.
huh?
I said, so in the very beginning, you're asking about these questions.
It's all about like how you respond to certain questions when I talk about sex.
Okay.
I know how promiscuous you are versus how not.
Okay. So let me ask, because some would say, because this conversation all sparked from a multiple partners conversation. So let me ask, you think someone with multiple partners is a risk factor?
Depends on what they're doing.
Elaborate. Elaborate.
What type of multiple partners are you talking about?
So what makes it what makes her how I word this? So let's say you meet woman A today, and woman A says, you ask your question, she says, yeah, I'm sleeping with 3 people currently.
And what's the dynamics of the relationship?
Okay. And so that's the follow-up question. Okay, I like it. What makes it?
I'm over here. I break down people's psychology, bro. I don't judge. There's no judgment.
Got it.
So I'm saying, hey, like,
so
what's the dynamic of a relationship?
Got it.
Depending on the dynamic of a relationship is where we go forward. And if I'm for it, if I'm against it.
Well, that's what I'm about to ask. So what makes it? What makes you for it, and what makes you against it? What answers?
It depends on the dynamic. Like give me a scenario of answers. Because there's multiple scenario answers. There's so
right.
Many,
so what answers?
In the conversation.
Right. So what answer is a no for you?
There's no commitment within those pair bonds.
No commitment within the 3 really. Okay. So if they have 3 friends with benefits, is that a commitment?
Yes.
Now we're getting somewhere. So
you
view a friends with benefits as a commitment.
There has to be some form of commitment there.
What do you mean?
Commitment, friends with benefits, there has to be some form of responsibility. What are you doing with that friends with benefits? Okay, this friend with benefit, I'm gonna fuck somebody else, go meet another girl, go meet with them. But what are they being responsible at the same time? Do you trust these people? You can't be out here just like this. There's so many dynamics to this shit. People don't understand. Like, some people don't even understand swinging culture, because that's what swinging culture.
Many do not.
Some of that is swinging culture. Some of that, like some of the ideas inform me. Like, I'm not a swinger. Don't get that shit out there, people. I'm not a fucking swinger. Like, but some of the ideas and cultures I come up with, I drew from other places because I read. Reading is fundamental. So when it comes to relationships, it's all about taking responsibility, accountability, and figuring out what type of partners you're dealing with. That
I agree with that.
Thing. And those things can be figured out without having to go run and go get tested. People will tell you shit about themselves. But if you're one of those people who can't hold the conversation, you don't know how to fucking talk explain people out of the fucking world, I suggest you go get that person tested, because that shit is scary out here. Because women will tell you everything that you need to know within the first 5 minutes, just like when they want to know you. That's like as soon as they meet you, if they want to fuck you, they know that shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
Sometimes we change their mind. both for the good and the bad.
Extremely quickly. And we don't even realize how quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I know how quickly, but
Absolutely.
but extremely quickly. And
So-
you fuck up real fast.
Let's go back to this article for just a second. So the article stated, just to reiterate, the article stated that a study of the 2021 census data showed that an increase in 40-year-olds. Now 25% of 40-year-olds, according to census data of 2021, have never been married. Why do you think that is?
The culture being pushed by society and media. For obvious.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? The culture being pushed by society and media. Look what the culture is. Sex, 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 money, money, money. Who's your top 3 artists right now?
Mm-hmm. You think that has to do with marriage? Your top 3 artists?
Yes. What you push in culture. Look at the top rated TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the narrative. Look at the fucking discourse. Fresh and Fit. Kevin Samuels. Come on, man. Red Pill. Blue Pill.
So you think
Alpha Male.
So you think Red Pill is partially responsible for 40-year-olds?
No, I think cultural society as a whole and the direction that it's heading in is the problem. There is no, like, these are just results of culture shift. These are just category groups that come out of culture shift. Culture shifting again. If you pay attention to the cultural shifts and things that's happening in the moments, the cool things, like if you're out here in this grand scheme of shit, you'll notice the little cultural shifts and how people are changing again. I remember in the beginning of this first cultural shift, I was like, wow, people are becoming more hyper focused and hypersensitive. But I also said, don't become so hypercritical that you forget the individual. And that's what we became. We became so hypercritical, we forgot the individual person. Facts over opinion. I mean, opinions over facts.
Facts. Yeah.
Well, feelings over facts. However the fuck you want to say it.
It should be facts over feelings.
Yeah, facts over. Yeah, it's like, get over your fucking selves. That's how I personally feel. Get over your fucking selves. Like, I've always been counterculture. Grew up counterculture. This is still counterculture. Like, this is stupid. Yeah. I honestly think making stories about people not being married, like the majority of us not being married over 40, it's because we're actually realizing the institution of marriage is a fucking joke when it comes to society. A lot of us are in long-term relationships and having kids and having healthy and stable relationships. Marriage usually comes later down on the line after 20, 25 years. Like, damn, I've been with this person mad long.
So let me ask you one last question, since we're having some technical difficulties and I also have to go soon. So do you think that, so we spoke about cultural shifts and why we think people are not getting married. Do you think that people simply want to get married later, like you were just saying, when they feel like the relationship is stable? Or do you think that today less people in our age group are interested in marriage?
I think more people are waiting.
Okay.
I say more men. More men are waiting till they're more stable.
Okay.
And they find a more stable partner. And a lot of women are getting left out.
Okay. All right.
Put it like
Got
that.
it.
Because women want marriage early. They want kids early. They want marriage, kids, all that shit. Men, caveman. Make money, eat
Caveman,
food,
got it.
fuck bitches. That, I mean, most men, like the majority, like there's a lot of men that don't think like that, but most men are like cavemen, like make money,
Got
eat
it.
food, fuck bitches.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're part of the few that are not like those men. And so that's it. We're going to end it here. Thank you to our guest. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed our guest and our conversation, please let us know. And I appreciate you. I will see you soon.